I'm okay. I just smoked another to the face, yeah. She wanna stay. Singing to your bitch like I was Drake, yeah.
Don't just try to tell me you love me. Can't keep it real if you really don't trust me. Come with a real, you here up in the front, so you get my meals. I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Come with a dank, scrolling in the tank, rolling with the gang. You sitting out on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin.
Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though, everybody? If you can't hear us, let us know, because we are going without a sound guy today because Nick quit. So,
yeah, I don't want to hear any other show on this network bitch about
no,
not getting things.
no, ever.
Like even when Neil does it, like, the pause. No, we literally have gone multiple shows.
A lot of shows.
Without a sound
a
guy.
lot of shows.
I mean, obviously he's joking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean we can do it.
Bro, come on.
But yeah, we won't have any, and no audio drops. No. Yep, we got Casper in there again.
Most cancelable show by far.
Yes, so Chris
is working hard.
And Chris is
what the fuck was that?
A chair?
I don't know.
Something broke in the computer booth as well.
All right,
Smash that like button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. If you guys are looking to intern at Woodward Sports, and you know Photoshop and or Adobe Premiere,
yes, it's very short amount of requirements to intern for us. If you need to have a laptop,
yeah,
a working laptop, preferably a MacBook.
sense of humor.
You need to have a sense of humor. You need to know how to use Adobe, so Photoshop and Premiere.
And a hardcore conservative.
Very little. Yeah, you better not vote first. No
white guys for Kamala.
Yeah, no white guys for Kamala in here. No, like not even like know how to use Premiere. You just have to have used it before.
Yes.
Like you don't have to be a master editor. Mm-hmm. You just need to know how to cut, and move audio. It's really not that hard.
And to be honest with you, too, like if you're something you still want to do, like
yes,
cheat yourself on YouTube.
Sawston unpaid internship ? It would probably start off as that, yes,
that way,
but
yeah.
you got to remember the heavyweights interns included Chris Platte, Mike Gentry,
yep, Nicholas
Kohloff, John Kloss,
yep.
R.I.P. But
I don't know if Owen ever got paid, but because he went back to school.
Oh yeah, Owen got he was the only one that was like actually an intern. Yeah. Like he got an internship through
That's
us.
right.
But
Noah?
We have a very good track record of getting our interns hired full-time jobs. So just saying.
Just letting you know, we'll put you through the ringer.
Yes.
No, we really won't. It's an awesome job.
Y'all hire the blind, says Exo Screens. If you can edit and if you got a laptop,
yeah.
I don't care if you're blind, deaf, or stupid. We hired Chris, so we'll hire it. Honestly, we could use a couple interns. So
yeah.
Woodward Heavyweights produce talent, says Aaron B. It's true. We have by far the best track record.
Caleb actually was another example.
Yeah, killing it.
We dipped out for more opportunity elsewhere.
Judas.
More money elsewhere. Judas, yeah.
Judas Caleb.
Judas. Oh, everything that guy touches turns to poop.
Oh, dude, he called this shit poop. Caleb, stop betting on the Pistons. You know we love you.
Stay away.
Stop betting on the Pistons.
Seriously, he's saying it with a smile on his face. I'm not. Stop.
I was very upset yesterday.
I'm with you, and I love you too. That's the part that's tough about it. Like, I don't want you to be offended. I don't want you to be hurt, because I want you to keep doing your thing, and I want, you know what I'm saying. But like, bro, you're on an all-time streak right now.
Yes.
Of like bad luck. And just use your powers for good.
Use your powers for good.
Comes great responsibility.
Bet on the other team.
Yeah.
Bet on the team playing the Pistons.
That's simple.
Like, if you're going to throw your money away anyways, try to get the Pistons some wins.
And if you guys aren't familiar with what we're talking about, our guy Caleb, or Judas, that was here once upon a time. He who
shall not be named.
My man went 0-9.
He went 0-9 and quit the next day.
0-9 on the pick'em.
And that's why he quit.
Moved on, transferred into the afterlife, and now he's doing his bets on Twitter. So make sure you follow Caleb.
Two legacy bets in a row.
Yes. First one, Kate Cunningham, 23.5 points. That night, Kate Cunningham scored 22.
Yeah.
And was pulled out of the game.
Pulled out of the game.
For the entirety of the fourth quarter.
Yes. He scored 22 points in 3 quarters.
And legacy bet, right? He said, I won't show my face again.
Yes.
I won't be doing this again if this doesn't hit. Didn't hit.
Didn't hit.
And he did it. Pulled from the game.
And then he did it again. He did it again last night. Jalen Duren double-double, which if I would have heard news of this, I wouldn't have put my money on it.
I put my whole account on it.
I put 2 units on it. It was a good lump sum. And little you know, Caleb got his legacy back and bet it again, legacy pick. and Jalen Duren gets injured in the first quarter.
I
Just
just
say it.
have to say something easy. I have to apologize to you for all the almost 2 years I berated you for jinxing you that one time or jinxing the Lions that one time. I still don't think I did, but I now understand why you're upset.
You
Because
did.
Caleb, I love you to death, but stay away from my Pistons. I've waited 10 goddamn years for some decent basketball, and I finally am excited to watch games, and I need you to not bet on these games. I love you, Caleb, but stay away from the Pistons.
Nah, Caleb, you're Judas. You know how I feel about you.
So what kind of doctor?
I won't say what kind of doctor. I love Caleb, but dude, stop betting on the Pistons.
For real.
62 seconds into the game. Yeah, that is Caleb's fault.
Literally.
He already had a tarnished and broken legacy from a previous Pistons bet, and he doubled down on the Pistons again and lost again.
On top of a low-key money line.
Yeah.
That was another and they'll get how'd they lose last night, Chris? What happened last night?
Yeah, well, yeah, how'd they lose?
They could have used a rebounder, actually.
Could have used a
Matter of
rebounder.
fact,
Used a rebounder, huh?
They could have used a rebounder. We'll
Crazy.
get to that, though.
Man. Yeah, last night's Pistons game was fucking crazy.
It was
That was nuts. Shout out to Ron Hollins real quick. Let's
Yeah.
do some positive stuff real quick. Ron Holland, I'm telling you, I think he looks better than Asar. And not that Asar was anything crazy, anything special. I think Asar is extremely talented. What do they call it? The decagon or the octagon, the spider-gon, whatever's like your skill set. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, your build
Your build, yeah, but what's
Yeah.
like the actual whatever?
attributes.
Sure, yeah, whatever works. You guys, you know what I'm talking about? Where there's like the spider-gram, I think is what it's
Yeah.
called. Either way, Asar's is like all the way right there with defense. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Shooting's really low. This, you know what I'm saying, like Ron Holland's kind of like filled out and ready to go. And like we talked about it yesterday a little bit too. Like he was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick at a certain point throughout the draft process before it got all the way through, obviously. But like, are we not seeing that?
We are. We're seeing. Yeah, he's playing good ball. Obviously, the shot isn't there, and that's what was the big thing going on. Was his shot wasn't there. You didn't. He needed to work on that, and that has been true for sure. But the defense has been great. His finesse around the basket has been impressive.
Yeah.
He looks like a legitimate NBA player. You see the athleticism on tape. The way he can get around people, the way he steps through the lane between defenders and makes baskets at the rim, it's really impressive from such a young player. The guy's only 18 years old, man. Like, it's crazy. Ron Holland is 10 years younger than me, and he is out there making, dude, that's fuck.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What are we doing?
Yeah, man. That's insane that I'm that old.
You should be in the league now.
I should, yeah.
You're supposed, isn't that crazy? Because you think about that conversation you have with yourself when you're like 10. You're like, yeah, I'll be in the NBA
When
by
was
then.
that moment
Yeah, I'll be
for
in the
you guys?
NFL by
Like
then.
I said, dude, if I was 6'5", I'd be in the NFL.
When was that moment for you guys, though, where you just, like, obviously we all knew very early we weren't going to the league per se, but when did you have that, like,
You.
oh, shit, these guys
Speak
are...
for yourself, bud.
Yeah, these guys are my...
No,
really
it was
But
for me. I was 18. Shot Alexis in. She took me to a game, and same night that one thing happened. I was telling you about on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the program.
No way.
Yeah, I was looking at the program, and I was like, I was looking at everybody's birthday. You know what I'm saying, like the players when they're born, where they're from, and stuff like that. I was like, Andre Drummond, August 10th, 1993. That's my fucking birthday.
Damn.
Exact same day, and I was like, damn,
Big uncle over here.
yeah, I was supposed to be in the pros by now.
Yeah, mine was when I was going to, like, my senior year at MSU, and I'd be going to college games. I'd be like, cheering on these guys, cheering on, the freshmen and the best. I'm like, these kids are younger than me.
Yeah.
Like,
Mine?
it's wild.
Mine was the Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine dunk contest when I was like, "Holy shit, these guys are my age!"
Yeah.
and they are doing the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, the NBA will humble you real quick because it's like they'll be like, "Yeah, he's an 8-year NBA veteran," and you're like, "Damn, he's younger than I am." And he's been in the league for 8 years. Like, it's
Yep, he had his first drink last week. Like,
for real. Like, honestly, it's crazy. There are people who are younger than me that have been in the NBA for 9 years.
That is actually
Jalen Duren
wild.
can't drink.
Yeah, that's wild. He's been in the NBA. What is
That's
his
right.
third year now? Second year, third year. That's
third year.
that makes me feel really old.
Yeah. You better be careful.
Sorry, I'm
you
not
end
as
up
old
like
as
me on
fucking
Saturday.
grandpa over here, but
True.
You got to talk about cool math games or addicting games.
Addicting Games, dude.
That
Do you
was
guys
real.
remember Addicting Games? Do
This
you?
is my era, brother.
Addicting Games was fire. We were playing Sniper Assassin back there. That was when I played Bowman. I used to play that all the time. There's one where you also shot the bow and arrow, and it was like people at the noose, and you had to like hit the rope to cut them free from the noose, and then they'd run away. I forget, because they'd be like hanging, and you have to like shoot the arrow before they die to cut the noose, so they drop and run. I can't remember what that game was called.
What we were talking about the Pistons at some point, part of this conversation.
Yeah, and then I said Ron
Holland
Holland's 10 years younger than me.
Yeah, you went ADD, but then we all connected with that feeling.
Yeah, we're all old.
We're all old.
Common ground. Mike Hilton says, "Fuck yes, addicting game." Mini clip was a good. Newgrounds.
Mini clip was fire.
Newgrounds was a good one.
I remember the helicopter game.
Cube Field was fire.
Yeah, Cube Runner, I think.
Was it Cube
Where
Runner?
you're like the little triangle.
Yeah, that one was lit.
Yeah. See, John Lord said addicting games, mini clip, Newgrounds. Yeah, dude. The monkey game, balloons. I think balloon tower defense.
Oh my god.
Homestar Runner.
Oh yeah. Oh, balloon tower. Yeah, that was fun as fuck.
Homestar Runner
Kitty
was
cannon back
Homestar
to
Runner
third
was fun.
grade.
Kitty cannon.
Kitty man.
You look like a kitty cannon guy for sure.
Characters, dude. Kitty cannon was great.
I know. Chris looks like a kitty cannon guy.
Character downloads. Did you guys ever go to homestarrunner.com?
Yes.
Everybody. Chogdor was on that song. Chogdor. Dude, I used to spend a lot of time on homestarrunner.com.
I could tell.
The king's gone mad with power. He's trying to eat the chort.
I got to get this out of the way because there's another point in the show to put it, and we will talk about sports. And maybe we'll start with the Pistons because we didn't finish that conversation. But there are 40 monkeys loose in South Carolina. right now.
Yeah, I saw. Okay. So well, let's get a peek behind the glass here, people. Our prep sheet. I did the first hour of Ermanni and Edwards today because Pete's sick. So I go back there. I eat my lunch and I go to dive into the prep because I had an hour less to do it. And on the intro, we throw in a bunch of stupid ADD topics in a row. And it was the first ones, the Detroit Red Wings win, which shout out, big win for the Red Wings.
Yeah.
Second one, the Detroit Pistons crumble. We just talked about that. And then the third one is there are 40 monkeys on the loose in North Carolina right now. Because this motherfucker will just find something on Twitter and throw it on there. Explain this, please.
So there's a research facility in South Carolina, and there's 43 monkeys that I don't know how. I watched the news clip, but they didn't say specifically how it happened. But 43 of them are out loose in South Carolina. So the news guy on the TV had to compose himself from laughing. He's like, lock your doors, lock your windows, don't open them up.
There's monkeys on the loose?
Yeah. Yes. They're like from the lab, so they're fucking.
They're super monkeys?
They're like juiced up. Yeah, all kinds of different shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I remember the Lilo and Stitch show.
Where is this at?
South Carolina.
At least, South Carolina.
Like some have AIDS.
It's a red state. They probably got some guns around there. People could probably solve
That's
this.
fair. Remember Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah.
They came off the spin-off show, and it was like all Stitches like
all
the
other
experiments.
Oh, yeah.
They all got different powers. That's what's going on in South Carolina right now. There's fucking flame-throwing monkeys out there. Just fucking... Who knows where
The
they
monkey's
are?
just got telekinesis. He opens the window with his mind.
You think they're rolling in packs? Because that was clearly an organized.
I feel like
that was an organized escape.
This is how Planet of the Apes started.
Shit, son.
We gotta initiate the fucking. We gotta roll out the National Guard in South Carolina
Like
right
now.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't.
You were scared of the fucking whales. They're in the water. The killer whales.
Well, we're not running. We're not turning whales into superheroes. Apparently,
They already are superheroes.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're in the water. These guys are out.
Yeah,
On land.
and they've been tested on.
And there's a movie about it.
They got Plan
Gen
V
Z. Oh, yeah.
injected into them. Dude, monkeys are scary too. Like, are they like chimpanzees?
They weren't. They weren't.
I think we got to see if we can still outsmart them. So we should set traps.
Okay, hold on.
Like throw a bunch of bananas in the street and just
This
wait
next
there.
article said they're changing the term to primates because
Because what, Easy?
the newscaster said there's any monkeys at your door, don't answer.
Oh my
It's
God!
getting canceled right now.
No way. He was actually talking about monkeys. So you can't even say. All right.
It's this kind of primate.
What kind of monkeys are there? Are they like chimpanzees or like the little spider monkeys?
They're like little spider monkeys.
Oh, dude, that'd be fun. Are you kidding me? That'd be like
I'd definitely keep one.
I'd go outside with a baseball bat.
Yeah, just start swinging.
Moscow. Rezus Moscow.
Oh.
How'd you pronounce that?
Yeah, Rezus Macau.
Rezus Macau?
Yeah, Macau is how it's pronounced.
They're out and about.
Those things are scary, dude. They got fangs.
Trick or treat. Motherfucker.
People are gonna have. Oh, dude. What about like outdoor cats?
Oh, they're falling.
They get torn up, dude.
I bet they're getting fucked. Like literally, the monkeys are raping the cats.
Relax.
Monkeys fuck.
Monkeys do. There's I was
getting some pussy.
I was watching this documentary about, I forget what forest it was, but there was a bunch of different like tribes of monkeys there, and they like live in like gangs.
Yeah.
And
That's how the apes are.
Yeah, they have like gang wars over territory and shit, and like the winning monkey gang will hold down the alpha male of the other gang and bite his nuts off so he can't reproduce.
Wow.
And they go after like pregnant females first and shit. Like they're dude, they're fucked up, bro.
I remember reading that part. Like biting their nuts off. That's crazy.
Dude, monkeys are scary.
Wow. You guys have an enemy. You don't just bite his nuts
Just
off.
you know, it's how you assert dominance.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Yeah. So Red Wings get a win last night.
We gotta go to break.
Man. Let's go to break.
Let's go to break. We're going to talk about, we had a lot of audio from a lot of different Lions. We got a lot of people talking about Za'Darius Smith, everybody gushing over him. We got Aaron Glenn. We got J-Mo talked about him. Josh Pascal talked about him. We got a lot of audio to get to, a lot of Lions topics. But I do want to talk about the Red Wings because...
Say no mercy, monkey.
Yeah, for real. Monkeys don't fuck around. But if... we're going to talk about the Red Wings later in the show because it was a good win, but I'm still not happy, and I will voice my concerns once again. But let's go to break. Let me tell you about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness, the home of the judgment-free zone. Everyone can come in, work out in a beautiful place with a judgment-free, knowledgeable staff, and they know what they're talking about. You can get a full-body workout in 30 minutes with a 30-minute circuit. All memberships include fitness training, and you can upgrade to the Black Card and get use of all the amenities like hydro massage, total body enhancement, and access to over 2,500 locations worldwide. Planet Fitness, join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where fitness is essential.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law got your back. Tell them the Heavyweight sent you, and they will pay your first-time filing fee. Just scan the QR code or dial 248-971-0476. Tell them the Heavyweight sent you. 10+ year experience, 24/7 availability. It's Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law. Family law issues and criminal issues, they got your back.
Shaq's got your back. What up, though, everybody? And welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights. Smash that like button for Easy, for Chris, for Casper the Ghost in the audio booth. I am Spencer Raxter. We are the Woodward Heavyweights. We just got talking about primate gang wars in the intro. And so apparently there's 40 super monkeys. 43 super monkeys on the loose in South Carolina right now. So if SC Doug, be careful. We have listeners.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. SC Doug, if you're out there, be careful for sure. But now we're going to talk about the Detroit Lions. We got a lot to talk about. Like I said, a lot of audio to get to from different players and different coaches. But first things first, we got Aaron Glenn on the newest addition, Za'Darius Smith, who is not with the team because he's going to be with the team tomorrow. Obviously, he missed his bye week this week because the Cleveland Browns are going on bye this week. So he got traded, didn't have a bye week. He was kind of pissed off about it. That's why he sent out that SMH tweet. And Dan Campbell said take the week off, come back, report with the team on Friday. I'm sure he was very excited to hear that news. So Za'Darius will be in the building tomorrow. We're going to get a lot of audio out of that for sure too. But here's Aaron Glenn talking about his newest addition and how he's going to utilize him in the defense.
Both power players, Christian Pocket, are you going to be able to get back to that with that tandem?
Well, the mindset was to never get away from it. The mindset was always utilize the players that we have and what they do best. And I know I continue to say that, but I think that's the number one thing a coach is supposed to do. But you're absolutely right. I mean, that's a strong point for both of those guys. But again, I don't just see Za'Darius just always on the edge. We're going to use him in a number of different spots. Somewhat similar to the way Cleveland used him, because I thought he was pretty successful in that system of being able to come inside and make some plays also. But his ultimate spot will be on the edge. He is a big man. He is a strong man, and he does have long arms. So what you just said was exactly right. What we want to try to continue to do is put him in there so we can get ready to crush the pocket.
And there you have it. Aaron Glenn talking about the different ways we're going to utilize Za'Darius Smith. Obviously, the biggest way, as he said, is on the edge, getting to the quarterback. Yeah. But we did hear EQ say a similar thing as Aaron Glenn in there, that he's been used in the middle. They can move him around, and he caused some havoc running from the middle. And Terrell Williams is not afraid of moving his defensive linemen around and putting them in matchups that will benefit them. So where do you think we're going to see him the most? Obviously, it's going to be the edge, right?
I believe so. I don't know, man, because listening to some stuff on him earlier in the week, I heard a lot of talk that he's like quite good in third down situations, specifically over the offensive guard. So like, in a short week, I feel like that's where you're more likely to see him. If maybe I don't think we'll see him all three downs. I know you guys kind of talk about that in BDE. I don't necessarily believe that to be the case. Just listening to these guys talk throughout the week, I think he's ready for that role if it's asked of him, or if they proves himself. I think they'll fill it out throughout the game. But it's a bye week for him. It's a new system. But the big takeaway for me, Spenny, and it's partly my fault for cutting out our guy Justin Rogers asking the question, but he was kind of talking about like how Aiden Hutchinson and Davenport worked beforehand. It was like crushing the pocket. Like we talked about yesterday too. They're all power rushers, right? None of them doing like finesse stuff, going the outside. They're literally just fucking running through you or hitting like a counter move off you. I noticed, and we've been talking about it too, we've been getting run on a lot. Like, yeah. Back-to-back games, 90-plus yards. That's other teams. Like, that's a good game, right? Under 100 yards. For us, no.
Not for the Lions, no.
Yeah, like routine was like 60 yards. Yeah. I think for our run defense, I think that's like a big plus to having them too that we haven't really been talking about. Like the fact that we can get back to that bully ball on the outside of the edges between he and Pascal and collapse in that pocket. I think that's why that helped us so much in the run game, because as we've seen without Hutch, it's not been the same. But I expect him, to be that dominant force. A physical force, not dominant force, but physical force on the outside, help you stop the run and contain the edge.
Yeah, he's going to impose his will. He's going to be the guy that they brought him in here to be, which is get to the quarterback, see quarterback, hit quarterback, as Dan Miller said to Dan Campbell. That is exactly what you need out of him. And you have guys that can help on the run. And I think one of the reasons why we were kind of getting gashed in the run the past couple of games, on top of not having Aiden Hutchinson and Josh Pascal out there, is you're forced to utilize your linebackers in blitzing and pass rush situations. You're forced to send a linebacker to try to get pressure on the quarterback when you can't do it with the four guys you have as down linemen. So with Za'Darius there and his ability to get to the quarterback by himself, it's going to free up Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone to do what they were doing in the beginning of the year, which is sit back and play the run when needed, and they're not going to be so close to the line of scrimmage. Chris?
That makes a lot of sense, Spenny. I think I was looking at earlier today. I think the Detroit Lions bounced from 31% blitz rate to like 38. I just tweeted this out like before the show started. Without Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah. And yeah, you're right. If you're forcing more guys down there early, then you're going to be missing out if the guy gets past your first line defensive line, and you're out there with our linebackers or secondary guys that don't want to tackle running backs. And if you're doing a good job playing run defense, they're not tackling running backs.
Because a couple of the runs I saw out of Josh Jacobs in that Packers game, the linebackers were getting washed down at the line of scrimmage by guards and tackles because they were already in the fray and they didn't have time to read the hole and react to it. They were already in the middle, so they were just being, part of the double team on the defensive tackle, and the hole was wide open. So when the linebackers are not blitzing or not that close to the line of scrimmage, they'll be able to fill that hole.
And again, I know this is the most obvious statement, but it's also the truest statement, is if you can stop that run, you're forcing the team to do what? Pass. And if they're passing, what does that play into? That plays into your best secondary in the NFL. And that's where you can make the plays. That's where this team can be opportunistic defensively. And that's how this team is going to be a top 10 to top 15 defense. If we're being 100% truthful and transparent here, they're not going to be teams that just 3-and-out you, 3-and-out you, 3-and-out you. What they're going to do is they're going to get consistent turnovers. They're going to create those turnovers, and those are going to be the difference in the game. That is how this defense will be a good enough defense to win a Super Bowl. So stopping the run is very important because it's a foundation. It sets up the pass, and that's where you have your playmakers able to make those plays.
Yeah, it makes teams very one-dimensional, and you're absolutely correct. I think that's why you look at our guys, our defense in total. I think we're leading the league in turnovers right now.
Yep.
The only team behind us was the Packers. We're either tied with them now at this point, tied for first, or they're in first. Or I'm sorry, they're in second. We're now in first. And yeah, you make them one-dimensional, and you got playmakers back there.
You sure do.
You got man cover corners. They're not going to get the ball in their situation. The ball's not going to them, so they try to force it over top, and that's where mistakes happen.
And we've got great coverage players in the middle of the field too, with the safeties and the linebackers. Jack Campbell and Anzalone. Jack Campbell stepped up in coverage a lot, and Anzalone, obviously, we know how well he is guarding that middle of the field. So if you are stopping the run, you have that many playmakers over the middle of the field, they're going to be forced to throw the ball down the sidelines, and that's where you have your man corners that can go up and make something happen, swat the ball away or pick it off. And, I don't think either of them have an interception yet, but I know Carlton Davis has come close a couple times. And if you're going to be attacking them down the sidelines, those long-armed man corners that always seem to be in the hip pocket of receivers are going to be getting their hands on a couple balls.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm especially happy to have the run defense back. And we got to go to break, but we'll talk some more. I'm going to get Scotty Bischoff.
Scotty Bischoff, the GOAT.
Show here, yeah.
Shout out to our guy Shane D. He said he got end zone tickets for him and his son, and he's going to Houston to see the game. That is, flying to Houston tomorrow. Got end zone tickets for me and my son. Let's go Lions. Said he's going to be repping WSM, baby. That's hype, dude. Have a lot of fun. Have some of the barbecue or something down there. Brisket probably is big in Texas. I've never been to Texas. I really want to go. But look out for Microwave Nick. He's going to be down there as well with Crackman.
I really want to go to this game.
Yeah, me too. Glad Nick told us.
Yeah, that was sweet.
I 1,000% would have tried.
Yeah, can't guarantee what happened. I definitely would try it.
Yeah, but that's in the past. Nick hates us and he quit, so forget him. Let's go to break, and we'll tell you guys about Scott Bischoff coming up next. Feldman and pregame. That is one thing we didn't decide. Yeah. I'll do Feldman. I'll tell you about Feldman Chevrolet. Since 1996, Feldman Chevrolet has been here to give you the best car buying experience imaginable. It is known as the Feldman Advantage. It's quick, easy, and you'll save the most money that you can on your automobile. We are live at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other week, so make sure you come out there and hang out with us. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
That's what's up, man. Make sure you guys tune in Sundays, every Sunday before the Detroit Lions game.
It's good to hear from Terry, man. My two favorite uncles. Neil's not old enough for me to call him an uncle, and D-Mac's like my best friend, so it's weird for me calling him an uncle because me and D-Mac's like Spenny in the future.
No audio.
No, we're good.
We're good?
We're good, yeah.
bet.
It was just the first couple seconds.
Yeah, but I love Neil and D-Mac for sure, but Maz and Terry are my uncles. They give more uncle vibes than D-Mac and Neil. Neil's, like I said, our age gap isn't that big. D-Mac is like grandpa. It's like Grandpa D-Mac. He's the cool grandpa.
Yeah.
But Maz and Terry are my uncles, man. Love those guys. It was good to see Terry today.
Shout out. Without further ado, let's welcome another uncle. Uncle Scotty.
Uncle Scotty.
Uncle Scott Bischoff.
How you guys doing?
Oh, I can't hear him.
You should be able to.
How about now?
You guys
muted,
good?
Scott?
There we go.
Here we
I
go,
don't
Scott.
think I'm muted, but I
Oh,
wouldn't
there.
know.
Yeah,
Gotcha now. Apologize about that.
we have a subpar technical director. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we actually have a sound guy today.
Yeah, we have no sound guy today, so Chris is working double duty.
Well, tell Chris I appreciate him.
Chris, he appreciates you.
Thanks.
You guys good?
Yeah,
it's
man.
good to see you,
Nice
man. How
seeing
you been?
man?
It's nice to be seen. It's good to see you guys. I'm good. I was at Lambeau last weekend. It was crazy.
Oh, were you really?
That was probably so sweet.
How is that experience
It was
outside?
sweet.
Does it suck? The bleacher seats, like all that stuff?
He's soft.
I'm soft. I'm
It's
asking.
like a college atmosphere. No, he's right. It sucked from a bleacher standpoint. So I was the old guy in line waiting for one of those bleacher chairs that you buy, which is just ridiculous. But it rained the whole time.
That's true too.
But it was interesting to be around and among a very spoiled fan base. And if you're listening out there, Packers fans, you are spoiled. They started complaining about the officiating before the game started, and they were yelling for a replacement quarterback one pass into the game. I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. Like, there's the screaming for Malik Willis to come off the bench and replace Jordan Love was super surprised. I was surprised by it.
So they've literally become the Lions. Like, that's what Lions fans used to do. Blame the refs, scream for the backup.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a hostile environment between Packers fans and other Packers fans. They were totally cool to Lions fans. It was a super cool experience. But I was surprised at the at how bizarre and irrational the fan base was. I just was.
A lot of infighting.
They're spoiled. They're spoiled rotten. They don't know what it's like.
That's
they're
exactly
second
what
in the
it is,
division
man.
and they're acting like this.
You know, not everybody can be 7-1. That's just how it goes.
That's true.
That's true. No, man, ain't no big deal. Scott, I kind of forced you to do a lot of homework today. Because you and I are supposed to do a pregame show elsewhere. So I know you looked up some Detroit Lions stuff versus the Texans. How you feeling about this matchup, man? I know heading into this one, our guys Nick and Chris, they said the Lions hadn't faced an elite quarterback yet. C.J. Stroud was projected to be that this year. How you feeling about this Detroit Lions secondary versus C.J. Stroud?
I feel really good about it if Nico Collins doesn't play. And I think it's from a Texan standpoint, it's does Nico Collins play and does Will Anderson play? And that's it. Nico Collins is coming off of IR with a hamstring injury. He's yet to practice. I kind of doubt that he does play. And that just puts them behind so much without Stephon Diggs. Realistically, it's Tank Dell, who's a good player. He's fine. He's in year 2. I think he'll be more productive with more targets, more target volume. But they're a very different offense with Nico Collins on the field than they are without him. So then it's John Mechie a little bit, Robert Woods. Those guys don't. You know, this sounds ridiculous, but I wouldn't be afraid of lining up against those guys. Dalton Schultz can play, but so without Nico Collins, that offense is limited. Joe Mixon's a good player. I kind of expect him to do okay. The Lions' run defense has been good. So, I would feel I'd have different vibes entirely if Nico Collins and Will Anderson play. Will Anderson, I think, has a better chance to play than Collins, and he's kind of a different story. But the Lions' O-line's pretty good. I think they can handle him. He's not necessarily the kind of player that gives them huge problems, speed and quickness and bend. He's more of a power rusher. So I don't know if that answers the question, but I feel like the Lions are in a pretty good position going into this game. The Texans have given up a ton of passing touchdowns, so I could see Goff having a pretty good game, a game like a lot of people won't see coming. I know the Lions can run the ball, and it makes it pretty easy when you can gash teams the way they can running the ball. Hey, I'm just going to hand it off to you, and you can take it for 30 or 40 yards or more. Either running back can do it. So their offense is pretty electric right now. I feel good. Again, it's early in the week to know whether or not some of these guys are going to play, but we'll see.
I'm really thinking about that same kind of line with these Texans and with what Jared Goff's going to do, and especially looking at Jameson Williams coming back in this game. I'm ready to put like an irresponsible amount of money on some Jameson Williams bets this weekend, because I could see I wanted to look up and see like what it would be for him to get 2 touchdowns, because these safeties on the Texans are where they've been getting gashed and deep down the middle, deep in the seam, and I feel like they're going to not force the ball to Jameson Williams, but make sure he gets some on his return back. And if that guy gets the ball in his hands in open field, it could be one play and he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, he could be. And Derek Stingley's there. He's a good player, but outside of that, they have 2 rookies starting for them. Kamari Lassiter from Georgia. Kalen Bullock is playing free safety for them. So there's mistakes that get made, right? There's a little bit of stuff that happens. Jalen Petrie is more of their Brian Branch kind of player, and he's a really good player too. But they're young in their secondary, and it shows. The Lions could do some really interesting things. Goff could have a 3+ touchdown kind of a game. Amon-Ra is going to get his. I think Laporte has been doing some good things, but there's a breakout coming there. You mentioned J-Mo. Tim Patrick is yet to score. That's coming. There's just a lot of good stuff happening with the Lions, both on offense and defense. Defensively, I think the Texans struggle on the interior of their offensive line, and that's kind of where right now, when you look at what DJ Reader is doing and what Aleem McNeil's doing, huge advantage for the Lions there. They should be able to bully their way, and compress the pocket and not allow Stroud to step up into the pocket to make throws, which is a big deal because he's not necessarily mobile in a traditional sense. He's more mobile in a traditional sense. It's not like he's Lamar Jackson back there where he's going to run around and get a bunch of first downs. He's mobile in the pocket, but nobody wants to step up into the face of a 300+ pound defensive tackle bearing down on him. So, there's advantages everywhere for the Lions, specifically those. And again, if Nico Collins doesn't play, I think the Lions can take away some of that pass game stuff and make them one-dimensional. And then you can see turnovers coming. And, I'm not saying it's a blowout kind of a game scenario, but Sunday night could be a really good night for Detroit.
We just played an Aaron Glenn clip, and they talked about how Za'Darius Smith can kind of return 2 ends, kind of just collapsing that pocket or just bull rushing there. Do you think those power ends, missing Aiden Hutchinson and Davenport, has that been the reason why teams are successfully running the football against us these past couple of weeks? Because it's been uncharacteristic of this Detroit Lions defense for the past 3 years almost, where we haven't allowed more than we haven't had a 100-yard rusher in 3 years, and now teams 3 weeks in a row now for 90 yards. What's been the reason for that in the Detroit Lions run?
It's a good question that I don't have a great answer for. Green Bay did kind of light up Detroit, with Josh Jacobs early in that game, and they went away from it. I think that there are elements of the way the Lions are playing without their premium edge guys. Where, are they missing a player who will set the edge for them, and then make plays in the running game. And there's another guy who hasn't played in the last couple of games, and that's Josh Pascal. So you're missing some playmaking, you're missing some size. It's a good point, and it's an interesting thought. Are they lacking right now at edge as far as defending the run? I don't know that they're getting torched with wide zone runs or outside zone kind of runs. So it does feel like, at least last week, it felt like Green Bay was hitting them right, kind of B gap to B gap. I haven't really noticed that the Lions have been bad lately versus the run. So I guess it's just something that's sort of been off my radar. I mean, tell me if you want to tell me what the stats are. I don't know.
Just numbers wise, and we'll talk about this later on in the week too if you want. But yeah, I know Aaron Jones, and most of it's been, I guess, 2 big gashing runs for maybe all the backs. But Aaron Jones got us against the Vikings. Pollard had 90+ yards. Jones had 90+ yards. Jacobs had 90+ yards, but he left early because of that ankle injury he had coming into the game. So I just been wondering, do we miss those power edges, kind of stealing the edge there and helping us out in the run game? I haven't dove into tape either. That's why I figured I'd ask you that question. I want to ask you another one though, unless you want to speak on that.
It's entirely likely that they're struggling in some ways, but it all kind of flows together. They're all pieces of the puzzle. Putting a team in bad down and distance means they're going to throw the ball more. It's a really good thought as far as are they missing playmaking, and the answer is yes. I mean, you're not replacing Hutchinson with anybody, and he's a really good run defender too. So yeah, you're missing that, but you're also missing, like you mentioned, Marcus Davenport and the size and the power and all that stuff. But it all has to fit together, and they have had some issues with personnel, changes in personnel. My guess is they're blitzing a little more. I don't know that exactly to be true. I didn't look at that, but my guess is they're blitzing a little more.
Yes.
And probably getting hit behind the blitz with the running game. Teams, there's smart teams out there, smart coordinators, and if they can run formations and run into lighter boxes, they're going to do that, especially if they think the Lions are going to be blitzing certain places. So maybe there is some of that the Lions are kind of selling out to get some pass rush, and on 1st and 10 teams are running, and that's what it seemed like against Green Bay, was on 1st down that they were running at a pretty good clip, taking advantage of the Lions kind of selling out to try to stop the pass. Do I know that's exactly what's happening? No, but it feels like that.
Yeah, that's what I saw a lot of. I saw a lot of Anzalone and Jack Campbell kind of getting washed down by offensive linemen doing their regular blocks just because they're so close to the line of scrimmage to try to get pressure on the quarterback, and the running back just hit the hole right behind them. We do got to go to break, though. Are you cool to stay through break, and we'll get back to you in just a second?
Sure.
Awesome. Beautiful. Appreciate you, Scott. We're going to go to break. We'll come right back with more from Scott Bischoff. But first, let me tell you about Sabbath Coffee Roasters. It's the best coffee in the game. You can have it delivered right to your door. Delicious, locally sourced coffee dropped off at your door. Just subscribe to SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com. Use code word Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Sabbath Coffee Roasters is the best coffee in the game.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party. Every Lions home game live from Second Best Bar, Detroit. Enjoy the pregame hype with a live broadcast every week with Woodward Sports personalities like Neil Rule, Sean Belegian, and the Heavyweights. Brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee and Les Stanford Automotive. Great drinks like Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Long Drink, great environment, and even better food. It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party, live from Second Best Bar, Detroit, brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee Roasters and Les Stanford Automotive. Come get some.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
In Detroit. They're very humble because I think they're personally the best bar in Detroit, and I know they have the best chicken sandwich in Detroit. You go down there, get that chicken sandwich. I'm not even like, no bullshit, no sponsor ad read. It is the best chicken sandwich I've ever had in my life. Go to Second Best at 42 Watson Street. They got Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. They've got the New Holland Brewing Company, different assortment of beverages. Anything you want. Fully loaded bar, great atmosphere, great place to watch a game, and like I said, the best chicken sandwich in Detroit. Go to Second Best Bar today.
And we got to put in that read the Aux. Their Aux game.
Yeah. Great music. They were very good on the Aux game. They were playing some deep cuts. I was like, wow, you don't hear these at the bar too often. So whoever runs the Aux at Second Best, they're killing it as well. Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on Woodward Sports. I'm Spencer. He's Easy. We got Chris and we got Casper in the audio booth. And now we are joined again by the one and only, the legend, Scott Bischoff. Scott, appreciate you for joining us again. And we're talking Texans. We're talking Lions here. We've went through all of the matchups and why we think who's going to win where. I want to ask you about Terrion Arnold because you do a lot of work when it comes to guys coming out of the draft and rookie classes. And Terrion Arnold was one, if not two, on a majority of people's cornerback boards coming out of the draft. The Lions moved up. They got him when he fell. He had a rough start to his season. He was a little handsy at the beginning of the year, but since week 4, he hasn't been called for any kind of penalty. He's been breaking up plays, making tackles close to the line of scrimmage. What have you seen out of the rookie cornerback so far this year?
So, coming into the NFL, his physicality stood out, and obviously we all know that physicality caused problems for him early this year, and specific to being grabby at certain points in routes where he just needed to be a little more patient because he was in phase and coverage, which it's the hardest thing to do. I mean, you were, I would tell him you're 90% of the way there. You didn't really need to grab. You're right where you need to be, but some of that stuff is habit, and you can get away with a lot of that stuff in college if you play at Alabama.
Yeah.
Right? So he comes into the NFL a very physical player. He uses his hands. He's willing to get his hands on. He's still doing all those things. The thing that stands out to me, and it has the entire time, is his what I want to refer to as reactive athleticism, which is his ability to mirror with other players. If you talk to like a wide receiver, they want to get defensive backs kind of out of sorts and out of rhythm with their feet. And Terrion Arnold's really good with his feet. He's never out of position there, but even against really good route runners, he stays in coverage and in phase because he can mirror their movements so easily. He's got so much fluidity in his lower body where he can get his feet into the ground. He can stay in the hip pocket of a receiver. He can run with them, but when they stop, he stops too. And even if we haven't seen him get beat double move kind of thing because he has so much athleticism and he's so loose within his lower body that he's got such an advantage to stay in phase and coverage, and that's what stood out to me the entire year. That even when he was getting beat in weeks 1 through 4, he was physically right where he needed to be. He just was grabbing a little bit. So maybe more than a little bit, but he's been really good. I'd say over the last 4 games or so. You're right. I don't think he's taken a penalty, and his addition to this team is a huge addition going forward, because I do think that he has the makeup physically, with his physical tools and mentally the way he plays to be a pretty sticky corner for a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to watch the development week by week. And although due to scheme, I don't know that we'll necessarily see the crazy interception numbers this year per se. I just like the fact that we finally have a guy that you don't have to be worried about. And I looked at it the other day. I actually didn't look it up. Our guy Al posted it. He has the second highest single man coverage rate in the league.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility bear on a rookie, and we have one of the better. It's crazy to say this out loud. One of the better passing defenses in the league right now.
We have the best secondary in the NFL.
Okay, relax. You keep.
Doesn't it make you guys really uncomfortable to talk about it like this? Though?
Yeah, I've been saying it for all week. Yeah.
Is there a car coming through this window or something? What's happening? But
one of those super primates from South Carolina just crashes through your window.
Hey, you never know. A drone strike, whatever. It's been coming for years. The Lions are the best team in football, and I'm including the Chiefs when I say I think they're as good as the Chiefs, if not better. I know that there was that silly little thing that came out this week that the Chiefs would be favored by a point if they played in a neutral site. And right now, I would say that that would be a really good game. But I can't. When you look at the NFC, the Lions are the class of the NFC right now. They are. I mean, think about it. They've gone into Minnesota. They were undefeated at the time. They beat them on the road. They beat Green Bay on the road. A little hiccup against Tampa earlier this season. They got away from their offensive identity in that game. They threw the ball 55 times. Jared Goff made some strange, curious decisions in that game to push the ball down the field.
Yeah.
At the expense of the intermediate parts of the field where he's at his best, and he hasn't done that since. The Lions are playing great football. They're very talented. Last year, their secondary was a mess. Look at what Brad Holmes has done in a year. With the trade of Carlton Davis, you bring in Terry and Arnold, and you're just sort of letting him play. Go do your thing, kid. Branch has become a premier player, a premier playmaker in the NFL, as has Kirby Joseph, and it's just nuts to think about. It just is.
It's awesome. I love it.
One more thing before we let you get going. What's been the biggest jump and improvement in Jack Campbell? From what you've been able to see this year?
The meat missile.
He's getting tons of praise from PFF. He's currently ranked their 9th best linebacker. I noticed him in the run game, but from someone like you who's coached the game, who's been a scout in the league, what's jumping off the tape for you, for Jack Campbell?
So the thing that stands out to me the most is his confidence in his reads and decision-making, and then his decisiveness to attack what he's seeing, as opposed to maybe as a rookie question it. Even, as scouts, we like to talk about if you take a bad step, you're beat. But in some ways, if this game is played with such thin margins that if you have a bad thought, you're beat.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking, I don't know if that makes sense, but if you're thinking you're playing slow, he does not look like a player who's playing slow. He looks like a guy who's very, very confident in what he's seeing. And reading from other teams' guards and other things like that is keys, and then triggering, and his trigger to get downhill against the run is it's so impressive athletically. To me it's his decisiveness and it's just his understanding of what offenses are trying to do, and his ability to read it, react to it, and get to a spot quicker than he did last year. That's all over his tape. He's been really, really good.
It's just that it's what I saw of him coming out of college, and you saw it down the stretch a little bit last year when he started playing well towards the end of the season. But he's just so athletic and so fast to get to the point of attack where he is meeting these running backs before they even get to the hole. It's so fun to watch.
There were examples of him on film where when he questioned, there's a play Blake Corum freezes him when they played against Michigan in 2022, whatever it was. He freezes him in a hole, and you can tell that he's just not totally confident about the read, and then Corum shows up there and he runs away from him, and it's like, Yeah, I mean, if he's really confident there, he's going to shut that run down at 3 yards, and instead it's a 30-yard touchdown or whatever it was. And that's the difference between, being a linebacker who's running around and just sort of running at everything, a dog chasing cars kind of thing, as opposed to a player who really looks like he's watching a ton of film and understands what offenses are trying to do with their run schemes. And some of it is coaching too. I mean, they're coaching him up, and he really has a strong grip on what's happening in front of him. And again, that's when you can see that premier athleticism pop. All right, he's triggering downhill, and now he's meeting the running back in the hole where the running back wants to cut into, and that play's dead. And that we've seen that a lot. He's been very impressive.
I don't want to compare him to these guys because he's not on this caliber yet. I'm not saying that. But I love linebackers. I watch a lot of linebacker film. And when you look at guys like Fred Warner and Roquan Smith, that's what they do is even back, like Luke Kuechly is one of my favorite players of all time. And you look back and they get in that hole before the run even develops. It's like they knew what the play was, and they're already there to make the stop in the hole the running back was going to. And I've seen some of that out of Jack Campbell this year.
Yeah, so the next step for Campbell is to do this kind of stuff against the pass. And that's where Kuechly shined. Like, Kuechly could do things because he could do things because he knew exactly what was coming. Like, I'm getting out to the flat because they're running a screen. They're going to try to fool us all into going right, but I know the pass is going left. I'm getting out there, and he would get there. So Campbell he's got instincts for days, and he's got premier athleticism. We'll see what he's got to develop as a pass defender, but he's got all the tools to do that. So we'll see. He's a young player who's playing at a high level already.
One last question before I let you go, only because I just got done watching the Vince McMahon doc. Who used to win the wrestling matches growing up between you and your cousin? How often would you guys get into it, and who was winning, you or him?
He was in Minnesota long before I knew he was alive. We never wrestled, but he would whoop my ass if it ever happened. Like, and I'm serious. He's not to be played with. He's really not.
Scott, we appreciate you joining us, man. As always, we're gonna have you on again soon. Well, do you have any
this is awesome, man. It's like old times.
It's like old times, like Studio B,
man, dude. Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, the glory days.
The glory days, back in the good old days. If you got anything you got coming out soon that you want to shout out, or any articles where people can get more stuff.
Just doing stuff for Detroit Lions podcast right now. That's about it.
All right. Cool. Detroit Lions podcast. Make sure you follow them on every platform you can. Scott, we appreciate you joining us as always, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, guys. You guys be well.
Yeah, you too, man. Scott, dude, these guys are just sickos when it comes to watching football. Scott, Russ, when they come on and they break down the players and the highlights. I wish I could watch football like these guys can watch football, man. It's insane. It's literally it's an illness. They are sick, but we love them. We're gonna go to break though. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about more Lions.
Actually,
we got Herman.
Yeah, Herman Moore might be joining the show.
Is he on?
Let's see. Not yet.
Not yet. Herman Moore will be joining the show at some point today. Our guy. We're gonna talk about. We got a couple more audios that we can go through about the boys on the team talking about their newest addition. But first, let me tell you about Lady Jane's. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. $20 haircut. Where are you going to get a $20 haircut nowadays? Lady Jane's, that's where. Scan that QR code up in the corner right there. You'll get your coupon for the haircut. Comes with a hot lather neck shave, a towel treatment, and a scalp massage as well. Make sure you walk in anytime. Just have that coupon ready. Any Lady Jane's open 7 days a week, and they will take care of you. You can call ahead to set an appointment as well. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk-ins are always welcome. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Easy told you about the pregame show and Woodward and Maine. I will tell you about the watch party and the postgame show live from Hayes Social. Come out and join us this weekend. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Sunday night football, you know the boys are going to be getting rowdy at Hayes Social. Presented by New Holland Brewing, Sabbath Coffee Roasters, Soroki Crispy Chicken and Pizza, and 1800 Tequila. Come out and join us at Hayes Social. It's going to be a blast. All right, what up, though, everybody, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights. We will be being joined by Herman Moore coming up shortly, but as of right now, you're stuck with us, just a bunch of big dumb idiots. He's easy. We got Chris in the booth. I am Spencer, and we got Casper in the other. Put it on Casper real quick.
Yeah.
Shout out, like the MVP.
To friendship.
To friendship.
To friendship.
No, but seriously, Nick is in Houston with his family. He's going to the game this weekend. He didn't ask the boys if we wanted to make the trip as well.
How convenient.
You know, when I said that, yeah, he assumed that I was asking him to pay for me because
that was weird.
I'm a charity case or something. Thanks, Nick. Sorry, your big Royal Oak pockets don't have enough money to give me a ticket.
I wish we had like 2 more minutes with Scott to find out why he was. Like, did Eric Bischoff fight or something like that, or like do MMA? I don't know. He was like, no, he's not one. Like, I was okay.
I mean, let's check his stats.
Yeah, see if he got any. Spenny, there's one thing on this prep sheet that I don't know if we'll get to it, so I want to get to it because it's kind of breaking news. I don't know, it's just juicy. Lions are in need of an edge. We got one. We lost 2, though.
Eric Bischoff, he's 5'10". It says 5'10", 195.
Not a big dude.
Not that big of a dude.
But he used to manage wrestlers. So
yeah, he's got to be put together for sure.
Yeah, he's probably crazy. Either way, Yannick Ngakoue.
Yes.
Waived.
Yes.
Maybe a team can make a claim on him.
Yes.
What? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think he'll make it to the Lions. Like, the Lions have like the 31st waiver priority or something like that. So he'd have to, take a tumble before he gets to the Detroit Lions. But the Lions did waive Isaiah Williams, the wide receiver.
They did?
Right before the show started.
Holy shit,
So that could just be for Iffy or Emmanuel Mosley if one of them is further along and might be ready to go. Or it could be for Yannick Ngakoue. And this is a guy. Again, here's a guy. Again, I had the same, stupid people saying, no, we don't need that.
He doesn't make his bed in the morning.
He doesn't fit what we do. This is a guy that's had 25 sacks in the past 4 seasons in the NFL. This is a guy that will fit on your team. Now, I don't expect him to be the Las Vegas Raiders version of Yannick Ngakoue, where he had 10 sacks in 2022. I don't even expect him to be the Indianapolis Colts version of Yannick Ngakoue, where that was 2021 when he had 10, or the Indianapolis Colts version of Yannick Ngakoue, where he had 9 sacks in 2022. But he's got 1.5 on the season already this year. That would be 1.5 more sacks than Ukwu, James Houston, and Isaiah Thomas combined. So this guy, if you sign him for the rest of the year on waivers, he'll cost you nothing. And if he gets you 3 sacks for the rest of the year, it'll be a net positive. And I don't think that's asking too much. I'm not saying this guy's a world beater, but he would be a good rotational piece to add to your defensive line, and he'd be better than some of the guys you got out there right now.
I'll say this. There may or may not be genuine concern of, like, whether he's a Dan Campbell guy, only because, like, why hasn't he – what's going on with this guy? Because he's put up numbers before in the league.
Everywhere.
And he just seems to be kind of just brushed over by almost everybody.
Yeah.
And I feel like that stuff only happens with guys that kind of have some stuff going on.
Dan Campbell or Brad Holmes, all they got to do is pick up the phone and call Todd Wash. A guy they worked with, a guy that was the defensive line coordinator, that was Yannick Ngakwe's defensive line coordinator when he was in Jacksonville. So if anybody knows anything about him, it'd be him. They got a guy that they can call and be like, hey, is this guy a lunatic? Is he worth it? Like, what's going on?
Put that thing down, flip it, reverse it.
The Ravens said they were looking to sign him to the practice squad if he clears waivers.
So looking to bring him back.
Yes.
He had 4 sacks last year, 9.5 the year before.
10 the year before that.
I don't. Yeah, man. Bring
20,
him in. I mean,
25 and a half sacks in the past 4 years combined.
That's the only reason why I'd be okay if they didn't do it, because I'm assuming that'd be the only reason why. Right? We talked about the Max Crosby stuff. There's still people somehow, some way still in denial about that. The same person told me about the Dave Montgomery stuff confirmed the Max Crosby stuff, so that was a thing.
Yeah.
So the Raiders weren't willing to let him go. They're gonna grab guys that are gonna contribute to this team, especially this year. They want to win a freaking Super Bowl. The only thing holding them up is if he's just a guy that doesn't make his bed in the morning.
Again, Ben Johnson in the Woodward Sports chat says, already, it's halfway through the season, he's a bum. He would be 3rd on our team in sacks. Or 4th. Outside of Aiden Hutchinson. With 1.5. So, like, yeah. I'd like to add him. I'd rather see Yannick Ngakwe out there in situations than James Houston, personally, or Ukwu, personally. No disrespect to those guys, but they are fringe NFL players as well. This guy has had 4 sacks last year. Now here's a guy. Yannick Ngakwe had 4 sacks last year. If he gets you 4 sacks this year, that is a W over James Houston, Ukwu, or Isaiah Thomas, flat out.
Yeah, and I'm not even really trying to shit on James Houston, but like the overall grade for him and the limited action he's had
has been bad.
If you're a PFF guy, and I'm not the biggest PFF guy, but it's like 34.7, I think it was. Yeah, I didn't think he was bad in pass rushing situations because that's what he does. But anything when you're asking him to defend the run, like he's just not going to be able to do that. Yannick Ngakwe, been around the league for a minute.
Yeah,
he's been doing that in a lot of places. I think he's a bigger body guy than James Houston. That was the weird thing about James Houston coming out of the draft. It's like he was too small to be a linebacker, but also too small to be like he's just, I don't know. He's not the biggest guy. He's really got the speed burst. I would not be opposed to Yannick Ngakwe at all. I don't think any Detroit Lions fans should be opposed to Yannick Ngakwe at all. I think they should definitely look into it. I think there's some to be looked into when you talk about them waiving Isaiah Williams.
And like I said, he had 4 sacks last year. Super Bowl Cartier says 4 sacks is mid. 4 sacks would have been second on the Detroit Lions last year.
We
don't have a good pass rush.
We don't even have mid right now.
Yes, we don't have mid.
That's the thing. We don't even have mid. And no disrespect to the young men that we got, but they're literally fucking sniped off of practice squads.
And this is why I don't understand you people at all. Like that. 4 sacks is mid. 4 sacks would have been second on the team last year, all year. And then Craig, Aiden had 4.5 sacks and a loss. Yeah. No shit, he's not Aiden Hutchinson.
Dude, yeah.
Like, he's not, I'm not saying this guy's a superstar, people. I'm not saying, you don't have to trade anything for him. You don't have to pay anything for him. You're going to pick him off waivers, and he's worth nothing. Like, what do you guys do? No, we don't want that.
No, we don't want to give us.
Like, what?
We don't want to get better.
I don't understand the thought process at all. Y'all are expecting way too much from waiver wire players. We're not. We're expecting 1 or 2 sacks. Is that too much?
Literally have
are you guys
starting on the team right now?
Are we in the twilight zone right now? He would be second on this team or third on this team in sacks right now with 1.5.
He'd be third on the team.
We're not saying he is going to be Aiden Hutchinson 2.0 or he's going to have 9 sacks in 9 games for the Detroit Lions. But in these remaining games, if you pick him up off waivers and he gives you 2 or 3 sacks, that is a huge W. That is a huge W.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have the chat in front of me right now. Read this stuff. I wouldn't be able to handle it. I don't understand how. We literally have practice squad guys.
I don't understand how everybody was so hyped about signing Ukwu
in his career. That's crazy to me.
I don't understand how everybody was like, oh, when we signed Isaiah Thomas and AQM, they're like, oh, we got the saviors now.
Yeah.
But saying we want a guy who's had 25.5 sacks in the past 4 years in the NFL, you're like, nah, he's
championing
mid.
Isaiah Thomas and turning your nose Yannick Ngakwe is crazy.
It's literally lunacy.
That's crazy.
Absolute lunacy.
All due respect, still love you guys. To be fair, I didn't read you guys say no. So maybe,
Yeah. And we'll see. We'll see.
Could be trolling too. We don't know. Maybe we'll get a little bit into the Texas matchup. We do have to get Herman Moore on the show at some point. Tell us about 1,800.
1,800, Chris.
1800 Tequila. Let me tell you about 1800 Tequila, the smoothest tequila in the game, and now a proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions and Woodward Sports Lions watch parties live at Hayes Social. Every Lions game, make sure you check it out. 1800, the smoothest tequila in the game. Make sure you get yours, and when you get yours, please drink responsibly.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Main, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
2.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza now has signature wings, 7 different delicious flavors for you to choose from. My personal favorite is spicy garlic. You can try them all and choose for yourself. Find a Soroki's near you at Sorokis.com. Like I said, for a limited time only, they got these signature wings, so get them while you can. What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on Woodward Sports. I am Spencer Exter. He is Speak Easy. Chris Platte running double duty in the Woodward Sports booth today. And now we are joined by the one, the only, the legend, 84, Herman Moore. Herman, appreciate you joining us, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me.
Herman, I got breaking news, man. I got to get your thoughts on this first and foremost. There's been 43 research primates that escaped the laboratory in South Carolina.
They were running tests on these primates. Apparently.
Super powered primates just been released into the wild.
Hey, are any of them edge rushers?
Yeah, baby.
Can any of them get to the quarterback?
Can he put some pads on and not jump off
I mean, I don't know. We don't know what kind of what kind of skill sets they have. I think they should be brought in, man, just to see if they can provide some depth in the event that we need it.
That's a great point.
That is a great
I'm
point.
going down to South Carolina on Saturday. I'm getting me an edge rusher.
Bring him back. Brad Holmes, I got one for you, bro. He's a little new to football, but I think he'll be good.
I'm going to call Pineda.
That's all right. Hey, listen, what I've heard is that they do a really good job at developing talent. So there you go.
Herman, we appreciate you joining us. And obviously the Lions are playing in Houston against the Texans this weekend. Some of the biggest news around this game is Jameson Williams returning from his 2-week suspension. We saw in the early parts of the season him being utilized as that weapon down the field. What will his return mean for the Lions offense that is already just #1 in the NFL?
I think his return means a lot in terms of depth. I think it opens up the playbook that allows them to do some things a little bit more dynamic in terms of the passing game. If you look at a lot of the offense, has been a lot of control style passing. There's not a lot of deep shots down the field. They do that with Patrick sometimes, but at the same time, they don't have that breakaway speed, the short game that can be turned into a big game, the versatility that you get with a Jameson Williams. So I think that part of the offense strokes fear in terms of safeties and secondaries, and also it causes your linebackers to really have to drop back early in protection. So it makes them vulnerable. They can't hang around the line of scrimmage as long before they really need to vacate to start to get back out in coverage and control some of those passing lanes. But Jameson, I think, has played a big effect because we look at, when you're averaging 19, 20-plus yards per reception, that's a big part of your offense in terms of the explosibility of an offense.
Herman, how grueling is that NFL schedule? Like, is there any way that these 2 games off may help J-Mo in the long run, come playoffs and just come throughout the season? Like, how sore does your body get as a wide receiver? I guess you played where they were allowed to hit you, but
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough on your body, but he's a player and he's been in the league long enough at this point to be acclimated to what your body is subjected to. I don't think that it'll definitely give him that rest. But you never want a player that was cranking at the level he was to have to be down a couple of games, especially when it's non-injury related, because you don't want a person having to float in and out of the mentality of what it means to be playing at the high level and to be at the same level that the team is. So, that piece could become a little bit getting back into it, but I don't see that being that big of a deal.
And looking at the other side of the ball, the Lions obviously made the big trade at the deadline to bring in Za'Darius Smith. What does it mean from a player's perspective when you see the front office, you're a contender, you're trying to win the Super Bowl, and at the deadline they go out there and they bring in a premier player to come in here and help you win that thing?
Yeah, I think with Smith what you get is everybody's going to always talk about he's a veteran. You got a Pro Bowl caliber edge rusher. I think you're bringing in confidence more than anything. He's not going to be asked to do more. They've been able to win games, and even though they've had the terrible injury to Hutchinson, they've still been able to hold the fort. This just provides an additional layer of confidence that when you go into the game, you know that you can run rotations, you can have substitutions without compromising a lot of things. And so that's what I look at seeing with Smith. I think with Za'Darius, you get a player that can step in and make that happen.
Hey, man, I'm hoping he does that too. I know we had the conversation on Sundays, on Analyzation Night, but Jared Goff MVP hasn't slowed down. And now it's reaching national levels. Herman, I guess first and foremost, how crazy is it? And do you see Jared Goff winning the MVP?
Yeah, I can see Jared Goff winning MVP, definitely. And I think that could happen if he continues to go down the path that he's gone. He's been very consistent in the way in which he's played. He's been very consistent in leading this team and being, from a leadership standpoint, making sure that the team is in positions to not give back games, meaning he's not turning the ball over. He's not taking unnecessary chances. And he's when you're completing your first 9, 10, 11, 12 passes, that means that you're getting off to a tremendous start as an offensive unit, and that bodes into a lot of confidence. So I think right now you have to keep him in that top 1, top 2, guys. He's 1, 2 right now in the running, and if he continues down the path that he's going, and this team goes deep or goes all the way into the Super Bowl, definitely I think he would win that hands down, especially if the play is still consistent, because he's meant a lot. He's meant a lot in leadership. He's brought confidence back to the fan base. He's brought confidence back to the organization that they have a long-term solution. And he's also brought the leadership that you look for in a quarterback, because it's such a prestigious and a needed position for all teams that you got to have quality leadership at the helm.
Yeah, and last year we had you on. We talked about just like how different things can go when you hand off those play calling duties to a new offensive coordinator. With Jared Goff playing like this, if you're a new offensive coordinator stepping in that building, do you kind of allow him to keep what he liked from that last playbook and go off that?
It depends. When you have an offensive coordinator, it's tough because everyone has a system. Everyone has a tried and true or a methodology to why they do certain things. There's a compromise and a collaboration that has to happen on both sides to adopt a new system. If they lose an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, those players have to understand that, one, they have the right chemistry, they have the right talent. It's all about putting it all together and making sure that whatever playbooks they're running on either side, because we're not talking about one potential coordinator that may have an opportunity. You're talking about two, and possibly even other coaches. And everyone wants to have upward mobility in their position and in their career. So you don't fault those guys if they don't stay. But I think there's going to be a lot that you have to pull away from them, because I think they're going to be well compensated. They have the respect. but more importantly, they have a team that can execute on their playbooks.
And Herman, we got a lot of responses in our chat right now. Our guy Cousin Keys saying when he was going to the Dome every game, you were the man. Patrick Ofaria saying, thanks Herm, great stuff every time. A lot of people showing their love to you. IT Hips, we love you, Herman Moore. These Lions fans have been showing out all year, the past 2 years, going to different stadiums, overtaking other teams' fan bases. You're hearing Jared Goff chants at hockey games in Chicago. Like, how awesome have these fans been in this run so far?
They've been what I've always known. They've been very consistent. They've always wanted to get behind a winning team, and to their credit, you're going to have fans that come and go. You're going to have the ones that they call bandwagoners and fair weather fans. But our base is pretty solid. People who ride and die with the team, they've been there. They've been there generationally. They've been there, and the tradition has been passed down. Even if they leave, they go out of state, and they're in hostile territory, they still remain Lion fans because I think everyone ultimately wants this organization to win. They want the players to win. And I've recognized that very early on as a player. And that's why I've been so close to the fans myself, because while I support the players and I'm there for the organization, I want them to win it all. I want them to be the best team in the NFL. But I also want to recognize that without the fans, the stadiums are empty. And they provide environment. They provide encouragement in the face of adversity. And when you can recognize that as a player and you can do it early on, you play harder. You play beyond yourself for them. And I love our fan base. And now they're being rewarded for their loyalty over time and seeing a organization finally put it all together and see the players go out and really embrace the grit other than it just being a marketing phrase.
Yeah, it's such an awesome thing to see. And like you said, if any fan base deserves it more than Lions fans, I'd like to see them because you can't tell me one that doesn't. Herman, we appreciate you as always joining the show, man. We know you got a lot going on, especially this weekend with what you're doing. Why don't you tell the people about some of the things you got cooking up, especially for this weekend?
Oh, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. On this upcoming Sunday, I've partnered up with Imagine Theaters for Imagine More. We're doing an Imagine More event at the Royal Oak Imagine Theater. I'm going to have the game on. We're going to have a nice little watch party along with food and drinks. We got the full bar open. I'm bringing out some memorabilia. I'm allowing people to have an early meet and greet as part of our VIP package, but be able to take some pictures, do some videos. If you got things you want to get signed, we can get some items signed, but I'm also going to have some really limited edition things for those who are looking to do some early shopping. And all the Lions Nation is going to be there, man. We're looking forward to continuing to enjoy the celebrating what this team is doing and also to be able to support each other and have a blast. So thanks again to Imagine Theaters for doing that. And again, I'm inviting everyone out. Get your tickets now. Get them early. Seats are limited. We only have about 230 seats. But as anyone knows about that theater, they're your seats. Once you get them, they're assigned to you, and you're going to have the best seat in the house, no matter where you're seated. And again, we got all the beverages, the food, and everything else you need. So come on out. It's going to be the Lions versus the Texans. So it's going to be a great game, big game.
That's so cool. That should be a lot of fun.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's walking distance from me.
Yeah.
And Herman, real quick too, we got a lot of younger fans in the chat right now. What game would you refer them to of yours to put them on game? Let them know.
See who Herman Moore really was.
Let them know who they was.
Peep out a game?
Yeah, what
I'd
game?
go 1995, go look at the Green Bay Packers. First half, 3 touchdowns, over 100, and just showing you what you don't do with a rookie cornerback. You don't send a rookie cornerback after.
No, you got to come with something stronger than that.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah. We last week when we were on Lions Nation United, you said
Green Bay sucks.
Green Bay sucks. They gave him a lot of touchdowns this day, and he wasn't lying. Herman, we appreciate you as always, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You guys are the best. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Man.
Dude, it's just we're so lucky, man. We're so lucky.
No, definitely
we get to pick the brain of legends.
Yes.
Like Herman Moore. Like we do have a younger viewer base. If you never saw Herman Moore, go watch Herman Moore. He was Megatron before Megatron. He led the league in.
Some call him Optimus Prime.
Some call him Optimus Prime. He led the league in receptions multiple times. He was up over 110 receptions before that was ever a thing.
He had the all-time record for like 3 years for receptions in the season. until Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning broke it.
Yep, he was the man, and he's just one of the greatest dudes you could know. Herman's the man.
And a fucking specimen still.
Yeah, still looks like he could go out there. You could throw him a fade route and he'd come down with
cornhole the other week, and I was like, God damn. It's not even fair.
Let's go to break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk some more Detroit Lions. Let me tell you about Caesar Sportsbook. Thursday Night Football.
Hey, yo.
They got some bets out there. It's going to be a good game. Bengals,
Did you go to the gym
Ravens. No, I didn't. I should have. Bengals, Ravens, division matchup. Actually going to be a good Thursday Night Football game. So go out there. If you want to place some bets on it, use Caesar Sportsbook. Scan that QR code, and you can bet up to anywhere from $25 to $1,000. Your first bet, if it doesn't hit, get that bet back with code word Woodward 1000. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. I'll give you my lock of the night later, and you know it's a Caesar Sportsbook lock of the night.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
New Holland Brewing Company. They got the best drinks in the game, one of them being the Taller Long Drink. It is a gin-based cocktail made with real grapefruit puree. Try it today. Get some at any local Total Wine near you. New Holland Brewing Company. Go check it out. Shout out to Mama Jan in the Woodward Sports chat. Said, great job, Spencer and Easy, Chris and Ghost. Yes, we are the Woodward Heavyweights live on Woodward Sports. I am Spencer Exter. He is Speak Easy. We got Chris Platte in the TD booth and Casper, the friendly sound coordinator. Nick is in Houston. He is, that ain't Texas, but he's holding something.
Houston and Vegas.
He's gonna have a good time down there, man. He's down there with his family to go to the game. It should be a lot of fun. I've never been to Texas. Would have been cool to know my friend was going. I would have
for a primetime game,
because we were already talking about he even used you to get Crackman's number to go tailgate with him.
I paid for his haircut.
And you paid for his haircut before he went down.
That's crazy.
You're the Houston guy too. Like you should be valid.
That's right.
In
Houston's my AFC team. If
how you feel about those guys?
Their offensive line sucks. We're gonna clap them. It's gonna be great. I know I've been saying it all the time, but
I know
it's gonna be another one of them games.
One of them ones,
I just really think so. We talked about it when you talked about the Green Bay game, or the Dallas game of how it's set up is there's no way that they don't do this. If Nico Collins doesn't play, I don't see a possible way the Texans can win this game.
Our offense right now is just too.
They can't keep up with it. Even if they're even if they're doing stuff, they can't keep up with us point for point.
Is at an unprecedented level when it comes to understanding this scheme, his scheme, his teammates. Yeah, it'd be tough, man. I'm not saying a blowout. I don't know if that happens like the Cowboys, but no, for sure, W. And I was looking today. I don't know if you saw it posted on Twitter the other day. Aleem McNeil.
Yep.
First in the league.
Yeah, you said it yesterday.
Since week 4. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, I looked it up today. Their left guard, Kendrick Green. Awful. Fucking horrendous.
Yes.
They've let up the most pressures up the middle in the entire league. I think 20 and a half sacks they've let up throughout the middle. We have Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader. And then this kid, I was looking at this guy, Kendrick Green. I'm looking at the interior offensive line, I should say. I'm like, okay, who's the victim here? I mean, not the victim, but who's the culprit? Look it up, Kendrick Green. Okay, let's go to PFF. What's Kendrick Green graded? What are they giving him? 36.9.
Yes.
You know what his pass blocking grade is?
24.
4.3.
Bro, what?
His pass blocking grade is 4.3.
Put the house on Aleem McNeil's sack.
Aleem McNeil is gonna fucking eat. Remember, I don't know if you watched the Jets game, the Texans Jets, but like
when you're a Jet,
CJ
you're
Stroud
a Jet.
snapping and right away, he'd be fucking just running this
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Za'Darius might get that sack.
Za'Darius,
CJ's gonna be running to him.
Run right into his
fucking
arms. Yeah. You look at that. We had let me 1 second. Sorry, I gotta look up this name so I don't butcher it because it is kind of a tough name to pronounce. But on Ermanni and Edwards today, we had a
guy,
the beat reporter for the Houston Texans for ESPN.
Yeah,
and his name was DJ Biename. It's not Biename, it's Biename.
Yeah,
and he was talking about what's been going on with this Houston Texans team. And when you look at the offensive side of the ball, that was the first thing he brought up. He said the tackles have been all right. The tackles haven't been bad.
Laramie Tunsil, one of the best.
Yeah, Laramie Tunsil, fantastic. Their other tackle, he said, is pretty good as well. But the interior of that offensive line has been so bad.
4.3.
And we got DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil up there to move those guys around. CJ Stroud's going to be on his heels the whole time. And that's where he gets into these throws down the middle, over the middle that could get taken advantage of if he's on his back foot throwing over the middle. We know we've got some of the best safeties in the NFL back there to make some of these interceptions, and we actually have a video of Brian Branch talking about playing with Kirby Joseph and what that defensive backfield looks like.
What's the reaction when people around the league say, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, that's the best safety duo in the NFL right now?
Oh, that means a lot. It shows how much hard work that we put in, but we know that this is only like the beginning, and we just got to keep on going to prove, not only to everybody, but to ourselves that we are who we say we are.
And this is like a get-right game for the Lions pass rush, to where the one thing we actually got on this pass rush, this is what they do worst. You're going up against Aleem McNeil, against the worst interior offensive line in the NFL. And those guys on the back end are going to eat from that. He said, what does it feel like to be called the best safety tandem in the NFL? That's no doubt. What does it feel like to be called the best secondary in the NFL? And they're going to have some early throws, some rushed throws, some back foot throws from CJ Stroud that they're going to be able to take advantage of in the back end of that defense.
Yeah, I don't know. He's still good, CJ Stroud. If we get to him and rush him, those Brian Branch is going to capitalize. We watched the interview with Kirby Joseph on the St. Brown Brother podcast. They asked Kirby who's the best player ever played with. The answer was Brian Branch.
Yes.
Because he just comes out of nowhere. His instinct, his ability to read the field. Like there was a play, actually I think it was the interception he had. I don't remember. I think it was Minnesota or either Tennessee. I don't know if he had the one against Tennessee. But anyway, he was in stride with one of the receivers. But there was somebody already in quarters to grab him. He was just putting the eye candy out there for the quarterback. And immediately when he went to go throw the ball, it's actually a ball he didn't throw, and it did end up being an interception to Trevor Nowalski. That's the play I'm thinking about. But he stopped the middle of the route, went to go jump that one. So then Mason Rudolph tucked the ball, ran, and just do one of those Jordan Loves. Oh, my God, get it out the way. Then Trevor Nowalski ended up catching the ball. Brian Branch is a fucking menace. I cannot wait to have him back. You already know he's hungry with something to prove after what happened in last week's game. And on top of that, too, it's the secondary having his back throughout this entire week with that happen out. The ultimate crash out.
Yeah.
One of the nicest, sweetest kids on the team. Looking at all three referees. You're a bitch.
You're a bitch. Oh, dude.
You're a bitch.
I love that shit.
Crowd.
That was the ultimate YN crash out, dude.
He's such a sweet kid.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, dude. And I love it. I ordered a crew neck with the picture on it.
Yeah.
So hopefully that gets here before Sunday. That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
But did you see the video of all of them wearing it?
Yeah.
The entire secondary bought one, the T-shirt, and they were waiting for him when he got out of the sauna.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then DJ Biename, the reporter for ESPN for the Houston Texans, also said the other side of the ball, their weakness is those deep balls up the seam. and attacking those safeties, because they're dealing with, as Scott Bischoff said, a couple rookies in that secondary. They're dealing with a couple guys out there, and DJ said he's seen these safeties get caught flat-footed multiple times this year. And what is Jared Goff, as Jared Goff is doing perfect in pretty much everything so far this year, but throughout his career, consistently he has been an elite play-action pass quarterback. Yeah. And absolutely, this is something you could take advantage of against young safeties, and especially getting a weapon like Jameson Williams back to run him down the seam, to run Laporta down the seam and hit those guys with play actions. Those deep thirds are going to be open for the Detroit Lions. I love what Scott said about expect Jared Goff to have a big game against the Houston Texans. I'm with him on that. I think Jared Goff's going to go out there. He's going to hit a seam ball. We've seen Amon-Ra St. Brown catch a deep seam touchdown in the past couple of weeks. We know Laporta lives over there. We know Jameson Williams on crossing routes across the middle has been deadly. I expect them to hit a couple of those in this game.
Yeah, I don't know if there'll be any deep balls per se, but I definitely, Jameson Williams and both Jared Goff, literally Jameson Williams had his hands tied. He couldn't do anything because he's suspended. Yeah. Jared Goff, he hasn't really been able to get dirty like that. One, because of the weather, then two, because special teams defense is doing too damn good of a job, as crazy as that sounds. Those two are definitely going to try to get nasty. It may end up being on a deep ball, but I think Jameis can get his regardless. Texans play a good defense in terms of the secondary. They're the second. Actually, they have the best rating against quarterbacks in the NFL right now, but still.
They've given up a lot of passing touchdowns, though.
So, I mean, that's in the red zone, you know what I'm saying? But, they're still better. They're still good, I guess, covering the pass. It's just like in the red zone, yeah, that's what they've gotten Nate at, because they're also good against the run as well. But I think regardless, the underneath, we're going to eat all day.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's what he said. You know, he's the beat reporter for the Texans. He's been watching a lot of their games this year.
I think he's almost Scott.
No, yeah. DJ Bieneme said that those safeties have been getting picked apart over the middle and in the deep seam routes. So he even said, I asked him, I was like, what? They're getting Jameson Williams back. He's a threat down the field. He was like, yeah, I'm really worried for it. I really don't know how they're going to match up with him. The safeties have not been good this year.
Jeez.
So expect them to attack those deep middles and just bleed them down the seams in the passing game.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm excited.
Actually, I could see it. J-Mo's due.
J-Mo, they're going to hit it. Like I said, they're not going to force him the ball.
Leading into the suspension. Yeah, he's due.
They're not going to force him the ball, but they're going to make a point to get him the ball.
Yeah.
And
shit, they might.
When he gets the ball in his hands, like I said, bro, 2 touchdowns.
Might.
Sprinkle 2 touchdowns. I'm definitely taking the over.
Yeah.
But we're going to go to break. We're going to come back, and we got some justification for Easy, for myself, for this show. You know, we were house patients. We were defending the Glen before it was cool, and we have some audio of Dan Campbell talking about his coordinator, Aaron Glenn, and just how amazing he has been so far this season. Flat out amazing. We're going to get into that coming back from break, but tell us about Mark White first, Easy.
Mark White, gonna do you right. Give him a call today, guys. It's 248-290-8242. Visit him at markwhitesells.com. That's 248-290-8242. Visit him at markwhitesells.com. You can save up to $5,000 on the closing cost of your new home. It's markwhitesells.com.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party. Every Lions home game live from Second Best Bar, Detroit. Enjoy the pregame hype with a live broadcast every week with Woodward Sports personalities like Neil Rule, Sean Belegian, and the Heavyweights. Brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee and Les Stanford Automotive. Great drinks like Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Long Drink, great environment, and even better food. It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party, live from Second Best Bar, Detroit, brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee Roasters and Les Stanford Automotive. Come get some.
4, 3.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service to customers who come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today and find the brand you want at LesStanford.com. Les Stanford, together, let's ride. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and Judas. We are the Woodward Heavyweights, live on Woodward Sports. Smash that like button for Speak Easy, for Chris Platte, for Casper.
We told your story, Caleb.
Yeah, we told your story, Caleb. I am Spencer Raxter. We are the Heavyweights. We've been talking a lot of Lions. We were one of the few shows on the network, probably the only show, that was really backing Aaron Glenn when it wasn't, when the things didn't look so good. You were holding the flag for House Patience, defending the Glenn. I was saying he doesn't have ripe vegetables to make the salad. He was making them with spoiled vegetables. And now we saw, when he got his weapons, what this defense looks like. A top 5 scoring defense in the NFL right now. And Aaron Glenn has been fantastic and right at the helm of it. Dan Campbell obviously knew this was going to happen with his friend and the guy he brought along with him from New Orleans. Here's what he had to say about his defensive coordinator.
Aaron Glenn is a homecoming for Aaron Glenn. I was wondering if you could just talk about the type of person and coach he is that you know that's made him so successful.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of things. First of all, he's salt of the earth. He's an unbelievable human being. He's a man of high character. He's a grinder. I mean, nobody works harder or longer than he does. He's a student of the game, for a guy that has learned so much. He wants to learn more and more. I mean, he's just constantly looking up better ways to do things, other ideas. I think he's strategic. The things that we go into the game with to attack opponents, I think it's some of the best in the league, man. And then when you start losing a couple of pieces here and there, and now you're still trying to attack them, but you've got to use what you have on the roster, I think he does an outstanding job. He doesn't have bad days. He's not one of these guys. I mean, he doesn't mean he didn't get, he can get pissed off. I mean, believe me. But he's a fiery guy. But he is, and he just doesn't live like that, man. Everything is, hey, you tell me what it is, you tell me what we got, we're going to make it work. And we're going to make the most of it, and we'll be good. And, he's just positive, upbeat, grinder. I mean, I can't say enough great words about him, everybody respects him. And those guys play hard for him.
Yeah, and so there is Dan Campbell talking about Aaron Glenn and what he does with his defense. Easy. We talked about the potential turnaround of this defense, but I don't think anybody expected to look this good.
No, not even myself. I mean, you said top 10. Credit to you for saying so, because that's where they currently sit, top 5 scoring defense in the league right now. I said top 15. You lose Aiden Hudson, Spenny, and we're still having that conversation.
Yeah.
I looked it up earlier today. It's crazy. It's crazy to and then we talk about him being a master chef, right? Him having, depending on what ingredients you make something really, really good. You make something okay, or you make something to get you by. He's cooking right now. The Detroit Lions have a higher pressure rate now without Aiden Hudson than they did with him. It sounds fucking crazy, but it's true. Aiden Hudson on the field this year had a 30.5% pressure rate. Without him, they've had a 35.6. When Aiden was here, he was letting Aiden do Aiden because Aiden does amazing things. But now he's kind of forced to draw these situations
up blitzes.
He's doing it.
Yeah,
he's doing it. It's truly amazing, and because we had really practice squad guys. I mean, you have Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader, and kudos to those guys for holding it down. I don't think they get enough credit, especially Aleem McNeil to this point. I know people are always chasing the sacks, but sometimes pressure on the quarterback or just forcing him to make stupid decisions or flushing him out of the pocket so he's off of his timing routes and whatnot. Like, that's what you want.
We saw it happen with Jordan Love, even though they didn't get to him.
Yeah.
A couple of the throws they forced him to make were big. we'll see if they can get that same kind of pressure against C.J. Stroud this weekend. Brain fart. I expect them to. Like we already broke that down about the weak interior offensive line of the Texans going up against Lee McNeil and DJ Reader is going to be a very favorable matchup for the Detroit Lions. But what Aaron Glenn has been doing has been nothing short of amazing. Like, even with all the weapons we knew we were going to have on that defensive side of the ball, with these guys you brought in the draft, and Terrion Arnold to go across from Carlton Davis. You bring Carlton Davis in. You bring in DJ Reader. You get some veteran presence in there, and your defense is looking amazing. And then, boom, the absolute nightmare scenario happens. Aiden Hutchinson, the best player in the NFL up to that point, and it wasn't close, breaks his leg. He's done for at least the rest of the regular season. And that is just a nightmare that would cripple people, that would ruin some defensive coordinator schemes. But Aaron Glenn has hopped right back into the fire, and like you said, a lot like we saw last year down the stretch when we were sacking the quarterback a lot. He was scheming up pressures for Anzalone, scheming pressures for Afonso Melifonwu, and he's doing that now. We see Trevor Nowaski getting back there. We see Jack Campbell. Rodrigo's got 2 sacks on the year. He is making these plays. It is impressive to see what he's doing. You can tell why he is so highly thought of when it comes to defensive coaches around the NFL. He was voted the coach that every defensive player wants to play for the most in the NFL last year based on the player vote. So Aaron Glenn is finally getting his shine this year, and I'm really happy for him. Chris, what have you seen out of Aaron Glenn in this defense?
I mean, you spoke to it. It's the creativity of it. It's the ability to take what would be perceived as limited and find ways to work around it. And so I think oftentimes we credit the players and Brad Holmes for building these versatile players, or not building, but acquiring these versatile players. But you got to give credit to Aaron Glenn for knowing how to use them, for putting them in positions to succeed. Specifically what he's doing with guys like Brian Branch, with the linebackers. Like and now with Iffy coming back too, we saw how great Iffy was, how Aaron Glenn consistently put him in positions to succeed, where he was at a track to be one of the best safeties in the NFL if he was on that rate. So, and that to me is a credit and a testament to not just Iffy, but also Aaron Glenn and what he comes up with.
Attention to details.
Honestly, dude, every safety in the NFL should want to play for Aaron Glenn.
This is a great defense
like
for safeties.
The way these guys are just churning out, except CJ, yeah, weird. The one safety that Aaron Glenn hasn't performed at a all-pro level with was CJ.
Yeah, just take a 1-year flyer, come here, ball out, and then get stupid paid elsewhere.
Yeah, honestly.
Next Gen Stats says Detroit Lions is the second best team. I'm sorry, they allow the lowest completion percentage in the red zone.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they've only let up 6 passing touchdowns on the year.
Mm-hmm.
And we know when they get into the red zone, you don't throw the ball in the red zone against the Detroit Lions, or we're going to take it away.
Speaking of safeties,
but then again, you can't run because
you can't run either.
This is a good run defense too. Outside the last couple weeks, but yeah.
No, targeted 11 times, both safeties on the year, and they've only allowed 2 completions for 5 yards.
They're insane.
And a league leading 4 interceptions, and a league leading 4 or 7 passes defended.
They're insane. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back. Drop some mailbag questions in the chat. I got my lock of the night for Thursday Night Football to give out, and I want to talk a little bit about the Red Wings. But
fantasy people desperate for running backs. We got some news for you, too, if you want to pick it up.
Yeah. We're going to go to break. We'll come back. Tell us about merch, Chris.
Merch.
If you want the best merch in the game, head on over to woodwardsports.com. Click that shop tab there. Get yourself some fly, brand new merch. They got hoodies, tees, hats. All that guaranteed to turn heads. So head on over to woodwardsports.com. Click that shop tab day and get yourself the best Detroit sports gear in the game. Merch.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Dr. Jeff Pierce is the injury insider for Woodward Sports. You can catch him live every Tuesday on Big D Energy and Thursdays on Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, call him at 248-426-9944 or visit him at MichiganSportsInSpine.com. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game. What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on Woodward Sports. Smash that like button for Easy, for Chris. I am Spencer, for Casper in the booth. Drop some mailbag questions in there. We'll get to those. My lock of the night tonight.
Yeah.
Per Caesar Sportsbook is Chase Brown over rushing yards. I think they're going to be very worried about the wide receivers on the outside. The Ravens have kind of been getting torched by wide receivers, and so I think they're going to loosen up a little bit, and Chase Brown's going to get in there and make some things happen. He's like their only running back right now that's worth a shit, obviously, with Zach Moss going down with the injury. I got it at 51.5. I think that's a pretty good number for Chase Brown.
Now, I saw one of Caesar's that, not gonna lie, it made me hurt a little bit. It made me a little emotional, but I liked it, and I took it in my parlay. Trey Hendrickson over 1.5 tackles. Not sacks, tackles.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, I feel like that's house money.
Yeah, what are the odds on it?
Even odds. It was like -1.
Yeah,
really?
All day.
Yeah.
I don't. The Ravens only allowed like 50 yards.
Yeah, I know.
And then you just traded for Khalil Herbert.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to get a lot of touches in this game.
Yeah, touches. Running backs can just hop right in.
Yeah. Well, Chase Brown's about to hop back in and make it happen. He's going to get he's going to get the bulk of the carries. He's going to be getting a lot of carries. He's going to make some things happen.
Hop out, air out, made it look sexy.
Huh? I gotta put my headphones back in.
Oh, nothing. I was just singing a song lyric that got caught in my head.
Oh. I didn't really look at the betting lines for the night. I'll pull it up right now. Lamar. I have do you have it up right now?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Let's get some of these mailbag questions in here. Chuck Brewer says, mailbag, does Easy have his eyes on who we might be drafting in next year's NHL draft? Never too early to start thinking about our next star.
Of course.
How the Swedes looking
How
over there?
sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
The Swedes are looking good. However, the prospect I got my eyes on is Austrian. And I'll be breaking that down tomorrow for you guys. But before break, I teased a fantasy football ad for guys that need running backs. If it hasn't already been done, I already seen the name in the chat. It's Keaton Mitchell. Before Keaton Mitchell went down last year, in his rookie year, he was absolutely fucking shit up. And yes, I do know the Ravens have Derrick Henry. However, Derrick Henry's, 30-plus years old now? He's going to need a little bit of rest on the sideline. There's been times where he's been just chilling on the sideline, watching Hill get run, and everyone's wondering, what the hell's going on? Is Derrick Henry hurt? No. He relaxed, dude. They got to keep him healthy for the playoffs. Keaton Mitchell is an absolute dog. He's absolute dynamite when he gets that ball in his hands. That's a guy definitely would be worth picking up, especially in the case of an injury to either Justice Hill or Derrick Henry.
What was his injury?
It was I think it was ACL.
Okay, yeah.
His leg snapped. It was gross.
Oh, like one of the floppers.
Oh yeah.
I hate dude. Those are the worst.
Yeah, it looked ugly. But he's still one of the most explosive guys in the league last year. He's actually on pace in less snaps. Was on pace with Jahmyr Gibbs throughout the season. Keaton Mitchell was fucking shit up.
Yeah, he looked good for sure before he got injured. That's just Lamar and Derrick Henry in that backfield. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to get.
Well, I mean, I think even catching the ball in the backfield. I mean, he's one of those type of guys. Let me see what he did receiving last year. 9 receptions, 93 yards. So he averaged 10 yards per reception, but 47 carries, 396 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Who did the Ravens add? They added Deontay Johnson, right?
Yeah, I like that too.
I like that too.
I think it's probably more down the line.
Yeah, but those underneath routes he can hit underneath Zay Flowers.
Mitchell's just one of those guys who can go off any moment. The game he went out, he had 9 carries for 73 yards.
Whew.
His first game, these aren't starts, by the way, too. They're
yeah.
just
Who were they?
Little sprinkles.
Like J.K. Dobbins and shit last year.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards.
Week 9 last year, as a rookie, he got 9 carries for 138 yards and 1 touchdown.
Damn.
I'm trying to see what touchdown receiving that game. No touchdowns receiving. Yeah, he's just one of those guys that can go off at any moment. If any type of injury happens in that backfield, that's a guy you want.
Yeah.
And I picked him up immediately.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you got any thoughts on the game tonight?
Dude, Bengals are like,
division matchup.
They're good.
The Bengals
somehow.
are good.
Like, I don't even.
Joe Burrow's been cooking,
but they're good, but they're not.
It's their defense, right?
If Joe Burrow had a winning record, he would be in the MVP conversation, like without a doubt. I think he has like 2 picks a year. He's got 20 touchdowns. Right? Yeah, he's tearing it up.
Yeah.
But I don't think he has a great record against the Ravens, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he has like 1 or 2 victories against them. Remember, actually, the Ravens games when he went out. FanDuel, Nick got lucky with that situation. We don't talk about it on there. I shouldn't have said nothing. But we all should have got our money back last year when Joe Burrow went out left that game early. Remember, he had the fucking thing on his wrist before the game, goes in the game. Oh, he's out because of his wrist. Why the fuck aren't bettors getting their money back?
Yep.
Yeah, that was
bullshit.
That was so shady.
I'm actually going to look up Joe Burrow's record against the Ravens, though.
Shout out Caesars.
Yeah, shout out Caesars. Caesars would never do that.
Caesars would never do that.
Promo code Woodward, by the way.
Woodward 1000.
Yeah, Woodward 1000. My bad. Joe Burrow record versus Ravens is. Oh, damn. Oh, he's 3-0 when Jackson is not the starter. No fucking shit.
Yeah, against Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
Look out.
He's 4-5. He's 4-5 all time against the Ravens. So you know what? Give me the Ravens tonight.
The Ravens. It's going to be a good game to watch. It's going to be a lot of fun. We appreciate you all joining us. Make sure you smash that like button and leave a comment. Say Easy Smells. That sounded Cash. Was that Cash? I think it was. Yeah, it was. For Chris, for Casper, for Easy, I'm Spencer with the heavyweights. Hopefully Easy's voice is back tomorrow. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
We'll be at Dispo tomorrow. Come through.